What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday night. Hope your day is going great. So, it is time to recap rookie minicamp for the Washington Commanders. As you guys know, that has just concluded. It was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday activity for the Washington Commanders rookies and tryout players. It was a big weekend. As I told a lot of you, it was one day for fans, really. You know, you get one day of coverage. The media is out there for one day. So it's really not a 3-day thing for the fans and really the media. But for the players, it is a 3-day thing, and it finished today. So obviously, we're going to have some takeaways from that. I thought it was pretty interesting to hear from some of the players, see what they had to say, and then see what they did out there at practice. And so I am really, really invested in this rookie group now after that rookie mini camp took place. And it is time to recap it. I'm going to give you some of my biggest notes, some of the biggest things that I have come away with after this, after hearing, the media speak and everything of the sort. So with that said, make sure you guys hit the like button as you come on and subscribe to this channel if you're not a part of the family already. And let's go ahead and get into what I took away. So first of all, let's start with Sonny Styles in general. And this is what you'll see. If you click on an article or if you watch a YouTube video, you're going to see that, if people are recapping minicamp, the first thing they're going to say is probably the name Sonny Styles. This was the biggest thing. First of all, we said we wanted to see the size of Sonny Styles, right? How big does he look in person? Well, we saw that he was absolutely an athletic freak in person. This is a guy that is massive. I mean, he's not your average 21-year-old, is Sonny Styles. And so the size really popped off. I told you I wanted to see the size really more than anything, to be honest with you, in person. Because in rookie minicamp, there's no pads. You're not really going to hit someone. You're not going to see the physicality of a dude, but we were able to see that size, and it was very impressive. So first off, we could really tell that he was an athletic freak. Okay. But also next up, we saw that he could be very physical. He has that potential. JP Finley even noted that Sonny Styles was out there looking like he wanted to lay dudes out, right? Looking like he wanted to hit you, right? Even though you can't hit, he wanted to hit you. He wanted to be physical, right? So that's another thing that I had, observed is he's showing that physicality. And that's what we need from our linebackers, right? We need a guy that can do that and can show that. So I just really thought that was interesting to hear from JP Finley, like looking like he wanted to lay dudes out, which again, very, very interesting. Also, the media stands about 70 to 75 feet away from the players, from the defense, and where Sonny Styles was. And so John Keim had noted in his podcast, he said that he could hear Sonny Styles from where he was standing, which again was about 70 to 75 feet. From where he was standing, he could hear Sonny Styles relaying the plays. So one of the things that we talk about is obviously Sonny Styles. Could he wear the green dot? Is he going to wear the green dot? Is he expected to wear the green dot? Right now, I can't give you a straight up answer, but it's an encouraging sign that the media could hear Sonny Styles relaying the calls and the plays to everybody else 70 to 75 feet away from where he was. You got to be loud and you have to be a leader, and you cannot be shy if you want to wear the green dot. Dan Quinn has made this very, very clear that it's something that you have to earn. And Sonny Styles is starting to earn that already with that loudness of his voice, right? Showing that he can be loud 70 to 75 feet away is very, very impressive. Next up, interception, right? We saw that Sonny Styles, they're gonna put him in coverage like a lot. He's not going to be that edge rusher type that Arvell Reese release meant to be. He's going to be he's going to play in coverage a lot. It's a massive upgrade over Bobby Wagner. We watched a clip of Sonny Styles getting an interception or, a snag, right? I guess I'll call it. There's no real plays, but he did get an interception. We'll call it that. And we watched that. And he's, the catch radius of him is just insane. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Like, the catch radius of Sonny Styles is crazy. That guy can go up and grab a ball and almost like a tight end, like a really strong tight end. He can do that. So again, the catch radius on Sonny Styles is impressive. Like I envision him getting a lot of interceptions over the middle. It's going to be really, really exciting to see what Sonny Styles can do in this defense. one of the reasons the Commanders picked Sonny Styles and selected Sonny Styles was not only because they liked him, the player that he could be, but because we haven't had a guy in years that can just be a leader, a new, fresh, great face on the defense. We don't have a guy that when we're losing by 10 can rally the guys together and get them together and really teach them, right? We have our new young leader of the defense. By the way, we have 48 in the chat. Make sure y'all smash that like button if you have not done so. Smash that subscribe button if you're not a part of the family already. Flood the comment section. We'll be getting the comments at the end of today's show, as we always do. Super chats always go first. Really appreciate y'all for all of your support recently. So, but Sonny Styles, again, the loudness of his voice, the catch radius, he just does so many things well. And not even to mention after the first day of practice when the media was there, just listening to his presser, the man is well-spoken. He's so, again, I don't want to be a huge glazer, but he's wise, right? He speaks, with a tone like the guy understands it. The guy understands the assignment. And that's the most encouraging thing. He knows he's coming to Washington because we didn't have a defense last year. We didn't have a defense last year. He knows he's coming to Washington because he has to be a leader now. And so this is a guy that understands the assignment. Listening to his presser after was just so impressive for me. So impressive for me. It's just what a well-spoken guy. That's a guy that is really, really awesome to listen to in any capacity. So I really enjoy watching Sonny Styles, seeing him. And again, probably the biggest thing that I told you watching for Sonny Styles, it's just the size in general. And so, we saw that and we saw a whole lot more. Again, any article you look at or video you click on about Commanders rookie minicamp, the first thing you're going to hear about is Sonny Styles. And that didn't change in this live stream right here. So that was Sonny Styles. Those are the observations we took away from him. Got to talk about him. When you're talking regular Commanders 2026 rookie minicamp takeaways, Sonny Styles, it has to begin with him. He was very impressive. If you're a first-round pick and you're not impressing in rookie minicamp, we expected him to impress. We expected him to look good out there, because the other guys that are there, they're not, they're Walmart workers, right? They're cashiers. So we expected him to look good, and he did. And he put a check mark. He crossed that off the list, and he looked good. Okay, so was pleased with what I saw from Sonny Styles, for sure. Next up, again, when you click on any article, you watch any video about Commanders rookie minicamp, you're probably going to hear about Antonio Williams as well. Well, guess what? That's what I'm bringing to you as well. First off, it was interesting. Antonio Williams was kind of that punt returner, kick returner role in minicamp. We saw him, fielding punts. They brought a real punter in there to actually give Antonio Williams work and stuff. So I thought that was interesting. So you saw him as a returner a little bit. If he can really unlock that game as a returner, that could spell trouble for a guy like Luke McCaffrey or a guy like Jalen Lane. But right now, that's nothing to worry about. You're crazy if you think Jalen Lane or Luke McCaffrey, gets cut from the roster. No matter what happens, those guys are not getting cut this year, at least. But you did see Antonio Williams as a returner, and he looks solid, right? He looks solid. But again, if he can be that receiver that's really dynamic and that returner, that is scary for other guys on this football team. So I was interested to see him at that returner position, but we did see him play, and field some punts. So I thought that was interesting. Also, I wanted to bring to you something that John Keim said on his podcast after Friday. He had said that Antonio Williams is better than Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane, hands down. He said, hands down, not even close. Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane do not compare to Antonio Williams. Antonio Williams is a lot better than those guys. So obviously that got me thinking. And I just want to say, Antonio Williams, he's not one of those guys. He's going to be more of an impact. He's going to make more of an impact day one. Luke McCaffrey didn't make a whole big impact his rookie year. Jalen Lane didn't either, right? Antonio Williams is going to be an immediate impact guy for this offense. Right now he's wide receiver too. So I understand John Keim saying that. I do think John is probably jumping to conclusions a little bit. I think that's probably a little bit of an early or a crazy thing to say this early on, that he's better than Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane, hands down already. But I thought that was interesting. And again, I do think that he's going to be right. Antonio Williams is going to be a guy that contributes day one. Was picked at 71. He wasn't supposed to be there when he was. So it is true, right? Next up, the suddenness that you saw and the quickness that you saw in Antonio Williams' routes. He was able to show a lot, but I talked to you guys coming into rookie minicamp. I told you one of the things that you really start to see, from wide receivers in rookie minicamp, you can really get a good assessment of those guys. You can't really get a good assessment of an offensive lineman or defensive lineman, but you can get a good assessment of a wide receiver just from one day of rookie minicamp because they can run routes, they can catch the football. How are their hands looking? So you saw the suddenness and the quickness of Antonio Williams' routes, and it was a fresh look out there. It wasn't like something we've seen, in recent years from a slot wide receiver here in Washington or an outside receiver. This is a guy that's going to make an immediate impact day one in David Blau's offense. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. None whatsoever. Also, we saw what we needed to see in Antonio Williams. And I'm going to finish him out just like I did with Sonny Styles. You saw what you needed to see. These guys are supposed to stand out among the other rookies and the other tryout players in rookie minicamp. And they did. You can cross that off the checklist. They stood out. Nothing went wrong for either one of those guys. Absolutely nothing went wrong with any of those guys. So you can actually cross that off the list. Okay, so that was Sonny Styles and Antonio Williams. Let's get to the fat man, Katron Allen. First of all, I want to start with what JP Finley said about him. Got to meet Fat Man Allen, and that's a humble young man. He seemed very excited to be part of an NFL roster, but more importantly, he looked the part on the field. Dan Quinn called the rookie running back out of Penn State a back with demonstrated power. Nobody was wearing pads at rookie camp, so there was no contact. But Allen does an excellent job of keeping his shoulders square even as he turns. You can also see in his body, he's a bigger guy, but carries it well. The path to a roster spot for Fat Man has proved to be a capable short yardage back. He looks the part. He did have a drop on a pass out of the backfield, but hard to know how good the pass was either. So that'll lead me to my takeaways, not just JP Finley's. So first of all, Katron Allen, that's a big dude. It's a very, very big guy is Katron Allen. Like, the size is the first thing that pops away, right? The first thing that pops off is Katron Allen, how tall he is, and he's one of the strongest guys out of this draft class, one of the strongest running backs, I'll say, out of this draft class. So you were looking for that. You can't see how physical he's going to be because there's no pads in rookie minicamp. So you know that you're probably just looking, how does he look in person? How does he look on the field? Well, the size popped for Katron Allen. That is for sure. Next up, you see that David Montgomery role for Katron Allen. One thing became very clear throughout this weekend was you watch Katron Allen run, and you can just see that the team's going to use him in a David Montgomery type of role, especially in a David Blau offense. He's seen these offenses. He's seen what, how this works. They're going to use him in a David Montgomery type of role in offense. I think that's become very, very clear. What does that mean? That means that he's going to be a short yardage guy. They're going to use him as a short yardage guy. You're going to see the fat man, Katron Allen, on the field more than you think. More than you think, he's going to be on the field. So he's going to be that guy getting goal line carries. He's going to be that David Montgomery. When you want to punch it in from 1 yard away, you give it to the fat man, Katron Allen. And it's such a dumb nickname for him, but I'm going to call him that because I think it's funny. But you saw that he could be used as that David Montgomery type of runner. He's not fast. Katron Allen is not a guy that's real explosive. He's not going to pop off with speed. He's not going to show speed. But he is going to show that he's a tough runner. He's a short yardage type of runner in this league. That's how he's going to crack this roster, is he's going to be a tough short yardage runner, and that's what he's already started in rookie minicamp. That's one thing that became very, very clear, is that's going to be his role year one on the offense. Does he unlock anything else? Maybe, but he's going to be that short yardage, tough runner. That's what Katron Allen's going to be. That was what also became pretty clear to me. Short yardage, tough runner. Give it to him on the goal line. And when you need him to come in and block, he'll do that. He doesn't, he's not great at catching passes out of the backfield, but when you need him to, he can really do anything. And that's the light that shines on Katron Allen. Really saw a lot from him in rookie minicamp. I liked what I saw. Now, again, watching the clips, like that's a guy that's slow, right? He's not fast. We knew this coming in. He's not going to be explosive. We knew that. So next up, Robert Henry, which I thought I didn't think that I didn't think Robert Henry would be a name that we were talking about after this weekend. I concluded the 3 practices. I didn't think I'd be bringing the name Robert Henry Jr. to your doorstep, but this is an intriguing guy. It's a name to watch. Feel like we always have that, and this year maybe multiple because I've picked up on a lot of different things, but Robert Henry Jr. is going to be a name that you probably definitely should watch this summer. People in the building like him, and he had a 177-yard rushing game against Texas A&M, which the team really saw that, and they really liked that. That's what we heard, according to John Keim. That's really what we heard. The team saw that 177-yard game, and boom, they have a lot of interest in him. Now, they are watching him. And so you should be watching him too. If they're watching him, you should be watching him. I'm watching him. That's a name to watch. So what we figured out in rookie minicamp, just specifically from John Keim, is that Robert Henry Jr., the team likes him a lot. And so he's not going to make the roster. That's not really in consideration for him. Now he may go to another NFL, team and crack their roster. I don't know. But I don't think he's got to put up a lot of numbers and do a lot of good things in the preseason games and do a lot, this offseason to really make this roster. They already have a bunch of running backs. So I really saw no future for Robert Henry Jr. in the first place. But when John Keim said that, I thought it could be interesting. I think it's interesting to hear that Robert Henry Jr., people like him in the building. People like him in the building. Robert Henry Jr. is definitely a name to watch. He's an undrafted free agent for this football team. I know, and a lot of you don't even know who that is. He's 24 years old, right? He's a 5'9" guy. He's 205 pounds. But he was at UTSA for a while. In 2025, he had 151 carries. He had 1,045 yards. He had 9 touchdowns that year. So, he had solid numbers that year. Solid numbers that year. We just cracked over 70 in the chat. Make sure y'all smash that like button for me. Let's try and get up over 50 likes on this stream if we have 70 in here. Make sure y'all smash that subscribe button if you're not a part of the family already. On the road to 6K. Make sure you flood the comment section. I want to hear all your thoughts and opinions on how you thought Commanders rookie minicamp was, but we are recapping it right here. To get back to Robert Henry Jr., 2025, you also had 114 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns there on that front. So that's a little bit about him. He's an interesting name to watch. Again, he's not going to make the roster, but the fact that John Keim's bringing him to your doorstep, I think is interesting. And I think was something that I should have noted. And there we go. That is a little bit of background on him. Watch him this offseason. I would watch him this offseason. Definitely keep an eye on him. Joshua Josephs, didn't talk much about him, kind of skipped over him a little bit. There wasn't much to say. Again, if you're an offensive or defensive lineman, you're not going to get much out of rookie minicamp. There's not going to be much for you. And it sucks to be that way. You should probably have a day that should be padded, right? For those type of guys. But that's irrelevant at this point. We saw a few things from Joshua Josephs. First of all, I told you that I wanted to see the size of Joshua Josephs. People list him as a guy with an NBA type wingspan with long arms. And so I wanted to see his long arm. Like, how long are they, right? What are we talking? And so we saw the NBA wingspan. John Keim, a guy that was out there, confirmed that we saw the NBA wingspan of Joshua Josephs, which I thought was pretty interesting. This is an edge rusher that was picked in the 5th round. It may not seem like he can come in and contribute day one, but I think he can. I would like to disagree with that argument. I think that he could actually come in and contribute day one with that size. He's a natural edge rusher. There's nothing that really you have to really work on with Joshua Josephs. He comes in with that NBA type wingspan. He fell. He was surprised that he was even there at 71. He was one of the hypothesis or the, one of the things I have hypothesized is that Joshua Josephs picked the number 48 because that's where he felt like he should have gone in the draft. This is a guy that should have been gone before we were even up at 71. He was there at 147. He was pissed. You saw him when Adam Peters tried to call him. He was pissed. He knew he shouldn't have gone that late. Okay. That's a little bit of rambling. That doesn't include rookie minicamp. First of all, though, we saw the NBA wingspan in rookie minicamp. The other thing that was noted about Joshua Josephs was we saw a quick first step. He has a really interesting move to get to the quarterback. He's fast, and he has a quick first step. Obviously, if you're an edge rusher, you have to have that first quick step, and Joshua Josephs does have that. I was trying to scour the internet for notes and news and media members that have been out there. What did they see? The one thing that I kept finding was Joshua Josephs having that quick first step. I saw that he had that quick first step. But it's not just me saying anything about Joshua Josephs. It is JP Finley as well. So let's listen to this, or let me read this to you. There was one specific rush from Joshua Josephs that had me very intrigued. Again, this is JP Finley saying this. He lined up on the right side and beat the tackle off the snap, then used bend to turn the corner. We know he's got long arms, but he looked like Stretch Armstrong as he made his move past the tackle and towards the quarterback. It was legit impressive. Then I got to talk with Josephs after practice and really liked him. The Rook seemed like he is all about football and specifically getting the ball. He said, quote, "If you get the ball, you get the money." And JP Finley apparently loved that line. So I actually thought about Joshua Josephs, after he was drafted. And I did not like hearing the draft call. Adam Peters had called Joshua Josephs up, and I just didn't like the call that Joshua Josephs had. I didn't like what Joshua Josephs was saying, the tone of his voice. He wasn't excited. I don't care where you're drafted. You should act like you're excited at least. And I didn't like the tone after. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, does this guy even want to play here? To hear JP Finley actually say that he had a good interview, was in good spirits, is very encouraging for me. But let's dive into the actual play part that JP Finley said. He said he used bend to turn the corner. So obviously that's a huge thing in edge rushers as well. He also said he looked like Stretch Armstrong. So that's very interesting as well. Using that wingspan to get past guys, right? Using that wingspan to your advantage. JP Finley said this rush was legit impressive. It was legit impressive. And you just don't see that kind of stuff in rookie minicamp. So I thought I could definitely bring that up to you guys. Just the one specific rush from Joshua Josephs that was really noted. So he lined up on the right side. He beat the tackle off the snap and then used bend to turn the corner. So it's interesting to hear Joshua Josephs actually, making some noise in rookie minicamp without pads. Also, there's a cover photo that JP Finley has on this YouTube video, and Josephs is smiling. So he's in good spirits. He looks good out there. So I really like to hear that note from DQ as well. So Joshua Josephs, again, the main objective for him was just look solid, right? But we want to see that NBA wingspan, and we want to see, the quickness. And so he showed both. He showed us the long arms, the NBA wingspan, and then you also want to see the quickness and the first step and the bend, and he showed all of that. All that, check that off the list. That is an absolute check mark. And I guess you could also throw the attitude in there. We wanted to see him have a positive attitude, and you can definitely check that off the list. He had a positive attitude going in, looked good out there, man. He really looked good out there. So we saw what we needed to see from him. That's for sure. Next up, let's talk Chris Hilton Jr. So Chris Hilton Jr. was a name that JP Finley had also brought up as well. I wanted to talk about him because, again, we have guys every year that we feel like can make the roster, and it would be a really surprising name. Chris Hilton Jr. this year is going to be that guy. I'm just warning you now. It's a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. Like, this is a guy that had major expectations. He was supposed to be the next guy after the great LSU wide receivers that it went to the NFL, he was supposed to be the next big guy, and he just never filled in that role. He was injured a lot. He never came in and filled the role of those guys. And so he's getting his opportunity as an undrafted free agent, and he went to rookie minicamp. Well, day one, he obviously, so he stayed after. He worked on the jugs machine a little while, but he stayed after rookie minicamp. Jaden wasn't there or anything. He just legitimately stayed after and worked at rookie minicamp. DQ is a guy that loves that. I mean, they eat that kind of stuff up. So them seeing Chris Hilton Jr. staying late, they're going to like that. They're going to eat that up. Like, trust me, they're going to love that. So that's going to do Chris Hilton Jr. a lot of solids. But it's a bigger body receiver. It's a guy that really only goes deep. How does he fit into this roster? Does he have a shot? We'll find out, but him staying late is going to boost his chances. It's going to boost his chances. He worked with Jaden Daniels. He played with Jaden Daniels 2 years. So it's a guy with a lot of experience, and I'm excited to see what Chris Hilton Jr. has got in store for us this offseason. One thing I can definitely say is it's going to be very exciting to watch him and keep tabs on him. I can definitely say that for sure. Also, I wanted to talk about Dan Quinn a little bit. Dan Quinn, had a presser, obviously. I've already reviewed the presser. I'm not going to do that. But from Dan Quinn, there seems to be a little bit of a change. Zach Selby wrote this in an article on the Washington Commanders site. He's changing practices. There's going to be better practices. There's going to be longer practices. Like, the learning that Dan Quinn has done, looking at last year, looking at the 5-12 season, looking at Terry McLaurin holding out, looking at all the injuries we had, Dan Quinn learned from that. And Dan Quinn is even having a kicker competition between Drew Stevens and Josh and Jake Moody. In the middle of this part of the offseason, they've already started their competition. So I just thought that was interesting. Like, it's becoming obvious Dan Quinn is really starting to change that philosophy. We had speculated about this. People a lot of times had talked about 1 hour training camp practices or things of that nature. And I didn't really, know exactly what to think about it, but he's changed that. Even this past rookie minicamp, and this is music to my ears, by the way. This past rookie minicamp was more loaded. The media members that were out there made sure to stress to people like, Dan Quinn's not playing around this year. Like, this was a very loaded practice. There were 7v7s. There was 11-on-11s. They made sure to stress, like, Dan Quinn has changed this operation up a little bit. There'd be days where the Commanders just wouldn't have pads for a while. There'd be days where there was shorter than 1 hour training camp practices or just at that mark. And it seemed like the Steelers were a team that had pads on 10 days in a row, so there had been people, hating on Dan Quinn for all that kind of stuff. And one thing that I've noticed and picked up on this offseason, especially from, rookie minicamp, is that we can see that change from Dan Quinn. That has become rather obvious. Dan Quinn has showed that he's going to change it up this year, and he has really, really learned. I also don't think that, I don't think that there's going to be a whole lot of farting around this offseason. Like, it's not going to be that. Dan Quinn's going to get straight to business, and he has with rookie minicamp. We got 74 in the chat. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Get this stream over to 50 likes. Over 50 likes if you could help me do that. Subscribe to this channel on the road to 6K. Trying to reach that very fast. So make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're not a part of the family already. Flood the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on how you thought rookie minicamp went. We'll get to the comment section after I'm done talking about what needs to be said here. So I did want to talk about Dan Quinn, though. I definitely wanted to talk about Dan Quinn and what he is doing. He has changed. He's changed up a little bit already, and we're noticing differences. And I just, I really could not get enough of hearing that. Again, that's music to my ears, is hearing that. Okay, so now let's just dive into a little bit more of this JP Finley article. I wanted to get some things to you as well. So, two practice squad receivers from the 2025 roster also took part on Friday. Ja'Cory Brooks and Jacoby Jones both had nice catches during the afternoon session. So, Ja'Cory Brooks was a guy last year that had ended up getting hurt in the middle of the well, it was right before roster cuts actually, and Ja'Cory Brooks had ended up getting hurt, and that was a guy that was really favored to, he had started to become a real threat to make the roster before that injury, and he's back this year. Nothing has changed for him. He's still at rookie minicamp. It's basically a rookie year for Ja'Cory Brooks. How does he come in and how? And it honestly reminds me a little bit of a Chris Hilton Jr., like we just talked about. How does he come in and make an impact this year? Are you going to make your name stand out among all the other wide receivers there? Well, it looks like he has. He had a great catch on Friday. Also, Jacoby Jones, the guy that had come in and played in that Dolphins game in Madrid, the overtime game. Jacoby Jones had come in and played in that game, and I liked what I saw from Jacoby Jones. I liked what I saw from Jacoby. I thought it was very impressive what he had done in that game for an undrafted free agent. We also saw in the preseason, Jacoby Jones did good. He did well. So I'm excited to watch him as well. And he apparently had a great catch on Friday as well. So a lot of things to keep an eye on. But those two receivers, if we're just looking specifically at the receiver position, keep an eye on those guys. I would definitely watch those guys. Also, from JP Finley's article, Ethan Kaliak-Manis seemed like a super nice kid that is legit excited to be on the same text thread as Marcus Mariota and Jaden Daniels. As for the play on the field, he made some throws. He largely looked like a seventh-round quarterback that just got the playbook. So if you do not know, you can't tell. JP Finley at the end of that was saying Ethan didn't look great on Friday. He definitely was a little bit iffy because he threw an interception to Carlin Vigors. Carlin Vigors, shout out to him, a guy that we've talked about a lot. The cornerback that was scared to tackle last year. May have a crack at the practice squad, but he had an interception off of Ethan Kaliak-Manis. So I don't know how to say his name either. I might just start calling him AK. So let's just do that because he said he wants it pronounced Ethan Kaliak-Manis. So let's just call him AK. So AK, obviously, what JP Finley's saying about AK is that he was pretty bad, at the end of in the rookie minicamp because he said he looks like a seventh rounder that just got the playbook. Okay, that's obvious. Like we expected that, but he did make some throws and he did show some things. And to be a quarterback 3 in this league, you don't have to be anything spectacular. So he did make some throws though, but the large portion that we got of Ethan or of AK was, him looking like a seventh round quarterback that just got the playbook, which is a player that is not real comfortable in the system yet, obviously, and is just really developing, right? We saw some clips of AK, him relaying plays. Again, he made some throws, but he did have an interception to Carlin Vigors. But AK's day wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. Also, JP Finley said, I was standing watching practice with a member of the Commander's PR staff when John Teamopio got through the line of scrimmage to register a tackle for loss. So it was a nice play for the tryout guy from BYU. And the PR staffer told me to write that one down. So here it is. Big John goes 6'2" and 300 pounds for a team that signed Tim Settle and looks like we'll be playing some traditional nose. Perhaps Big John is a name to watch for the practice squad. So watch the name John T. We'll call him John T. The 6'2", 300-pound guy from BYU trying out. He apparently got through the line of scrimmage and he registered a tackle for loss. Now, for a guy like this, rookie minicamp isn't going to be the hardest thing in the world. He's a big guy, so it's not going to be the hardest thing in the world for him to register a tackle for loss. So John T, watch him. Us playing traditional nose, like you could use him and just keep him on the practice squad. So apparently he had a nice day, was solid. DQ likes them big game wrecker guys. So watch his name for the practice squad. John Teamopia. Again, I'm going to call him John T. I apologize if I screwed up his name. We're going to call him John T over here. But he registered a tackle. He got through the line of scrimmage. He registered a tackle for loss. Good to hear that update as well. Also, JP Finley said, last thing, looking at the ages on the rookie minicamp roster was wild. There were guys 25, 26, and 27. The COVID era of college football where guys could play 6 years has been a crazy transition, but I think is coming to an end. So what he's basically saying here is the ages have changed. The ages have changed throughout this whole process. So which I thought was interesting. The Commanders did have a 27-year-old guy there as well, which is pretty crazy, right? A 27-year-old guy, Jeffrey Emba. Apparently, Jeffrey Emba had a pretty good day out there on Friday. Apparently, he did pretty well because we heard that Jeffrey Emba was out there, and he's a 27-year-old guy. Like that's a guy that he's supposed to be out there wrecking rookie minicamp, but in the summer he's gonna look pretty solid as well, we hope. So that was a major talking point was Jeffrey Emba as well. So because he's 27 years old. So that was interesting as well. But these guys were out here competing this weekend, and Dan Quinn, he's changed it. He's changed the look of this football team now. He's changed the look of this football team now. He's really made a lot of changes, and this roster is a lot younger. We had a lot of guys out there in Commanders rookie minicamp, but what I can say is the main takeaway here is Sonny Styles can be a real leader. He can be a real leader, and he's going to make an impact day one on this football team. He's going to make an impact day one on this football team. It's a guy that is a leader. He understands the assignment. I don't know if I told you guys, I don't know if I told you guys about Sonny Styles a whole lot, and what he did at rookie minicamp when I first covered the practice, but he was great. He was spectacular. And that's exactly what you expect out of your first round pick. Well, he was definitely exciting. Also, one other thing to note. JP Finley said this, and I've been thinking about this as well. I made a video about this today. JP Finley said, I've been pretty adamant that Washington needed to bring in competition at kicker. They did. Undrafted free agent Drew Stevens has a monster leg. Watching him kick field goals, where admittedly I had a bit of a weird angle to see how many he made. JP Finley also said that. The power was obvious. He was bombing. On kicks inside 40 yards, it seemed like the ball was still on the ascent as it crossed through the uprights. After practice, he told me he's very comfortable inside of 60. And social media videos suggest he's comfortable past that too. Social media, Drew Stevens posted a video that was him making a 72-yarder. So he can kick past 60. Speaking with Stevens, JP Finley said, it became clear he's not here because it's cool to be at NFL camp. He wants the job. The kicking competition will be fun to watch this summer. So one of the things that JP Finley had definitely made sure to talk about was Drew Stevens and that kicker competition. I talked about it some today. Kickers are so important in this league, man. They're so important in this league. The Commanders may have their new kicker. This is a guy, the Bills and Titans had interest in Drew Stevens. The Commanders paid him an extra little cash to get him in here, and they actually put like a real place kicker out there. They put real people out there so Drew Stevens could get a real workout. We could get a real assessment of Drew Stevens. And Larry Izzo, the special teams coach for the Commanders, was actually out there watching him. So I think one of the biggest storylines of rookie minicamp was just Drew Stevens in general, the undrafted free agent out of Iowa, the kicker. One of the biggest storylines was just him in itself, which is very, very interesting. Also, JP Finley says, credit to the Commanders organization for bringing in a long snapper and holder so that Stevens could get real work. As I said, that's thorough. So let's shout these dudes out. So Ashton and Go was one of those guys that helped out, and Nick Velt Sistas was also another guy that helped Drew Stevens. So the Commanders actually brought in real people for Drew Stevens to so he could actually get work. So he could actually kick and get real work, and we could get a real assessment of him. So credit to the Commanders for that. Credit to the Commanders for that. Um, that's very encouraging. That Drew Stevens had a very, very good day at rookie minicamp. That's very encouraging. So, but ultimately, not many other big rumblings out of a rookie minicamp. I just covered every single thing that possibly could happen. We have 81 in the chat. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Get this stream over 50 likes if you guys could. Subscribe to this channel as well if you're not a part of the family. On the road to 6K, make sure you click that subscribe button if you are not subscribed. But that is everything that took place at rookie minicamp. And so you had Sonny Styles, obviously, showed his athletic freakness, if you will, made some plays out there, showed that he could cover. Antonio Williams is going to be a big part of this offense. Day one, he's going to be that. John Keim said he's better than Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane, hands down, not even close. Joshua Joseph showed his NBA wingspan. He showed that his quick first step, and he showed that he could get after the quarterback. You had the fat man, Katron Allen. He showed that he can be that short yardage, tough runner, and they're going to use him in a David Montgomery role. Robert Henry Jr., an undrafted free agent, a guy that we have questions about, but people in the building like him a lot. Also, Chris Hilton Jr., people in the building like him a lot. He stayed late the first day, which is very interesting. He stayed late the first day to get extra work. So I just, I see Chris Hilton Jr. I see a bright future for him. He's not going to make the roster, I don't believe, but we'll see what happens with him over the summer. One last thing I'd like to get to, though, is David Blau and Durante Jones. You can already see a change from these guys from a Cliff Kingsbury and a Joe Witt Jr. You never saw a clip of Joe Witt Jr. out there running around, throwing the football to his guys, working with his guys. You never saw that. Durante Jones is a real coach. He's a physical coach. He's going to give it to you straight up. And that's something to be very, very excited about if you're a Commanders fan. It's going to be interesting to see how Durante Jones coaches this defense, but you saw that when Sonny Styles walked in day one, Durante Jones had the biggest smile on his face ever. So he got his dog. He got the players for his defense. I think this is Durante Jones. He's ready to step into his role. He's ready to step into his role as a defensive coordinator. He's not a guy that's unprepared. Like, you could consider David Blau unprepared. He's had 2 years of coaching experience. Durante Jones is not that. So you saw that, the guys flying around, they're physical, and they're here to set a tone. But on David Blau's side of things, he also was out there, had a smile on his face. Excuse me. And so he was out. He was checking Eighth and Kaliak Manis out there. He was checking him out some of the time, watching him throw the ball. So David Blau is going to, he was watching Antonio Williams as well. That's going to be a big chess piece in his offense. Katron Allen as well. So we are seeing the guys acquire the playbook, and we're seeing the guys just, starting to get acclimated to the playbook. And so these guys are coming in and they're learning fast. And so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they all get acclimated fully to this playbook. But Durante Jones and David Blau are doing a solid job so far. And I know it's just rookie minicamp, but they're doing a solid job so far getting these guys ready to go. And so I really like what I'm seeing from our two new coordinators. And it's really honestly just made me more confident in general as a whole of these guys. It's just really made me a lot more confident. So we will see what is on the horizon next. Looks okay. Never mind. I thought we had a schedule leak. I was looking, but we don't have a schedule leak. Okay, so we've covered rookie minicamp. Let's get to the comment section here. Super chats always go first, right? You guys know that for a fact. Super chats always go first. They keep the channel healthy and moving. Again, you guys know that. But we'll start at the top if there's no, yeah, okay. So Sonny Styles stands head and shoulders above the rest at Commanders rookie minicamp. So exactly, and that's from the Washington Post, a reliable source. Thank you for that, Corey. Like it's obvious, man. Whenever you look at an article or watch a video about Commanders rookie minicamp, it's always about the first round pick, and so Sonny Styles is obviously getting all the media attention right now, as he should. Just if he had bad interviews or was a guy that had spoken, poorly, then obviously like there's going to be people talking, down on him or not mentioning his name as much, but he put it all together. This is a guy that understands. He understands. I believe it was Scott Abraham asked him a question like, you know, what are your expectations or something, or being a first round pick, you have high expectations. How do you not listen to that? And Sonny said, he literally said, my expectations are higher than anyone else's for myself. So I can't even hear the outside world. It's a guy that understands, man. He gets it. He understands the assignment. He understands what he has to do. You can tell that he's all about business, man. It's kind of like a Bobby Wagner guy. It's not like a guy that never cracks a smile, but it's a guy that's about his business, right? He goes about his business. So it's just really fun to see Styles already growing as a commander. But I'm so excited for him. Again, we haven't had this true like defensive rookie of the year candidate in a long time. We haven't had that. We haven't had a guy that we could be this excited about in the ceiling. We haven't had a guy like that in what feels like a while. Like the ceiling of Sonny Styles is so incredibly high. It's just awesome. Season ticket holder living in Florida, I would be mad if we play another Florida team overseas in back-to-back seasons and not here in Florida. Yes, that is totally understandable. I really I hear you on that. If that was my situation, I'd be pissed too. So yeah, that's crazy if they do that. I heard like they could skip the Jags game and go to London and play the Jags. So I don't know. I'd say that's not likely right now. So I wouldn't get down yet. Like I don't think that's likely right now. But we'll see when the schedule comes out. You'll be able to see. I think they're just going to play the Jags in Jacksonville. When we get the schedule next week, I think they're just going to play the Jags in Jacksonville. I don't think they're going to play 2 London games, and I hope not. I don't want them to play 2 London games. I don't want that to be the case. That to me is just no. That's not. And Dan Quinn's preaching. He preaches brotherhood and all that, but I don't want that to be the case. Like that's get us 1 week out there, okay, but not 2, right? Not 2. Maybe Joshua should have thought about that when he was hanging out with the wrong people, according to sources. I heard about character concerns of Joshua Joseph's. But I didn't know, like, nobody really thought it would affect his draft stock, to be honest with you. And even when he was drafted by the Commanders, you would think that you would hear more about like character concerns. You would think you would hear more about that from our media. But I just really have not heard that. So it's not really a concern for me. I don't think it's a concern for them. But one thing that I really picked up on this weekend was Joshua Joseph. He's happy to be here. Like he's glad to be here. He's happy to be here. And that's what we wanted to see from him. So yeah, I was glad to see like, okay, he's actually not pissed still. And again, I think that's probably because where he was drafted. But yeah, he could have definitely been hanging out with the wrong type of people. That's for sure. Keep an eye on wide receiver Antonio Williams. Yeah, we talked about him, man. We talked about him. We talked about Sonny Styles is the first name you're going to see whenever you hear Commanders rookie minicamp being talked about. Sonny Styles is the first name you're going to see, but the second name you're going to see is Antonio Williams. Just going to be such an immediate contributor to this offense. It's just going to be a night and day difference from a Luke McCaffrey or a Jalen Lano's football team. Night and day difference, man. I cannot wait for him. I think David Blau is going to just go crazy with a guy like Antonio Williams and really start to unlock him. It was a guy that was supposed to be gone before 71. He was supposed to be gone. So when the Commanders picked him, they got their wide receiver. They got their guy. He can play inside and outside. He knows it too. He's talked about it many a times. Make sure you guys click the like button, click that subscribe button if you're not subscribed as well. Flood the comment section. I want to hear all your thoughts and opinions on what I had to say about rookie minicamp, all topics surrounding the Commanders. And while we're at the comment section, why not? But I'm definitely keeping an eye on Antonio Williams for sure. You've been working hard in these YouTube streets. Antonio Williams might be the steal of the entire draft. Appreciate you, first of all. Yes, we've been grinding on this channel, but we will see who turns out to be this steal of the draft, and that could very well be Antonio Williams. But I think you could also look at a guy in Joshua Josephs as well. Like he could have been going before 71. So, but yeah, Antonio Williams right now seems like a steal. If we're comparing him already to an Amon-Ra St. Brown, like that's a major steal. If you ask people, if you say to people, this is going to be an obvious Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he's going to play exactly like him, he'd be going in the first round. And I'm not saying that's what he is, but I'm saying people are really comparing him to, that Amon-Ra St. Brown type of guy. So it's very interesting. I hope the kicker makes the final 53. You're going to see one kicker name on there. It's not going to be Jake Moody and Drew Stevens. It's going to be Drew Stevens or Jake Moody. So it's black and white. Like pick one. You can't keep both. So I hope that he makes the roster, but it's going to be challenging. I mean, he's the one thing with Jake Moody is he's really accurate. He doesn't have a huge leg, but he's really accurate. So you got to watch Jake Moody still too. He could, trick the Commanders in the offseason and then go out and miss a bunch of kicks, and we'll still have Drew Stevens here. But one thing I'll say is like, the Titans and the Bills had interest in Drew Stevens as well. So it wasn't just the Commanders that had interest there. So it'll be interesting to watch him throughout the whole offseason, but him posting the 73 or 72-yard kick is interesting and intriguing. Like, it's going to be fun to watch him. It really is going to be fun to watch him. And he kicked it off right this Friday. He looked very solid on Friday. According to Over the Cap, we have 82 on the active roster. We need 8 more heading into camp. See which of these UDFAs sign a camp contract. So they're definitely going to bring back, Drew Stevens, right? We just talked about him. They're going to probably bring a lot of those guys back. I don't think anybody stunk it up in rookie minicamp, but there's probably guys who didn't impress as much as they thought or things of that nature. They're going to bring Jeffrey Emba back, the defensive tackle. They're going to bring him in for an invite or for a camp contract because he's 27 years old. Like he's actually has a legitimate shot to make the roster. If I had to pick one guy, I'd say Jeffrey Emba. So that's a guy to watch as well. But yeah, 82 on the active roster is actually not that much. I thought we had like 87 or 88. I thought we were getting close to that 90 mark, but actually no. So we still have a lot of people to fill this roster. So it's going to be interesting. You didn't touch on David Blau and how he's installing this offense and working with players. So, I mean, because it's rookie minicamp. He's not really, he worked with AK on Friday, right? He worked with some of the offensive players on Friday, but he didn't really do much out there. Like, it wasn't anything huge. He didn't do anything huge out there. So I didn't really have anything to touch on there. That wasn't really a huge part of it. Shout out to the Wizards. Yes, shout out to the Wizards. So my Oklahoma City Thunder got number 12 in the draft. A lot of people that are in this stream right now, your Washington Wizards are the number 1 pick in the draft due to the draft lottery today, which I thought was interesting. They deserved it after last year's fleece. They deserved it finally. I was tired of seeing the Wizards miss out. I still root on them, even though I'm a Thunder fan. Like I still root on them sometimes because obviously they're the whole hometown team. So they're going to get AJ Dubasa. It looks like AJ Dubasa will be a Washington Wizard, and they're really building something solid there in Washington. So I'm excited to see what they do. They got Anthony Davis, Trae Young. So I'm excited about the Wizards for sure. And now that they have the number 1 pick, it's well deserved. It's well deserved that they have that number 1 pick. Again, I'm excited to see what they will do. There's your NBA talk for the day. Do you think that Ben gets used as a receiving tight end or as a fullback this year? I feel like he can do either. If not, then I definitely want a tight end next year. We got Chig for now. We're going to have Chig for the next 3 years, first of all, but I think he's going to be used more as a fullback. I think they're going to use him as kind of like a Kyle Hughes check, or how he's used in a Kyle Shanahan type of offense. I don't think they're going to use him as a major receiving tight end. They may try some different things. Like David Blau's offense is going to be creative and interesting. Don't get me wrong, but he's a really good blocker. He's a really solid blocker. So I think they're going to use him more as a blocker, is what I would say. I think that's kind of the role that he's going to fill. So I see him there. Uh, they could go after a tight end next year. It's never out of the question. Ben Sinnott was drafted early, hasn't really turned into anything, so we'll see. But yeah, we do have got Chig for now, and I just wanted them to add one tight end. I didn't want them to add multiple tight ends this offseason, so I'm fine with just having Chig Okonkwo here. Like that doesn't necessarily bother me. One tight end, like I'm good. I just wanted them to add one tight end, and they did that. But I see Ben Sinnott right now as more that fullback type of guy. So type of player. What do you think about Snead? Snead is a guy that is kind of had some character concerns and injuries. Injuries are major. I know that L'Jarius Snead was great with the Chiefs. He did a lot of good things for the Chiefs, but um, you know, he's just not there anymore. If I had to say that, like if it's going to be a 1-year highly incentivized type deal for L'Jarius Snead, okay, right, you can bring him in, but I'm just not all for like taking a chance on a guy like that. I don't think Adam Peters would take a chance on him. But L'Jarius Snead, that's an interesting name. It's one of the only bigger corners left in the market that's really solid. So that's why I would, advocate for bringing him in maybe, but we'll see. I think the team right now is probably looking to just uh rock with Mikey on the outside. I think that's probably what they're looking to rock with. I don't think they're really looking to make many more changes. So that's what I think they're going to do. But if they did, decide to bring L'Jarius Snead, and that'd be awesome because he was great with the Chiefs. With the Titans, just a lot of injuries, a lot of things went wrong there. And he's back kind of at a fresh restart at this point. So I am excited to see where L'Jarius Snead lands. I don't think it's going to be with the Commanders. Like we'll see, but I don't think it's going to be with the Commanders. I just don't see Adam Peters signing a guy like that. I don't see that being the case. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. I feel like a lot of this offseason has kind of been us grabbing slot corners and just really getting the shorter guys, but I think we need a bigger corner. And who knows what, one of the guys from rookie minicamp or the tryout guys or the UDFAs could do, could one of them make the roster? I know that they like Fred Davis a lot out of Northwestern. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the quarterback position. It really is. We have 68 in the chat. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Get the stream up over 50 likes if y'all could. Smash that subscribe button if you're not a part of the family already. On the road to 6K. We're 2 subscribers away from 5,060. So help me reach that goal tonight if you guys could. Also flood the comment section as well. Super chats are greatly appreciated. They help the channel go. They keep the channel healthy. But regular comments are just fine as well. And we'll definitely get to some more of those tonight. Because this is, rookie minicamp weekend is always interesting. A lot of long streams, things of that nature. There's always a lot to talk about. And in this time of the year, we're about to go into dry spell in the offseason. I'm not going to lie to you. We're about to go into a dry spell in the offseason, but it is what it is. Time usually goes by pretty fast. So it's not going to be like crazy long, but it's still going to be a considerable amount of time till we see this team on the field and organized team activities. But they just finished up phase 1 of OTA. So we're moving through the offseason. I'll say that we're moving through the offseason relatively quick. I want us to pick up Kenny Moore because I have no faith in our corner depth. But I feel like, what are you trying to do? If you're trying to create an army of slot cornerbacks, then go ahead. If you're trying to create an army of slot cornerbacks, then go ahead. Go ahead and sign Kenny Moore. But I don't think that's what we're trying to do. I don't think necessarily that's what this team is trying to do. I think that they're going to rock with Mikey on the outside, and they like Trey Amos, and I think they're good enough on what they've done. Like, I think they're good, right? I think that they are good on on their depth at the cornerback position. I think they're good on that. I don't think they're looking at depth anymore. I think that they are looking around at bigger cornerbacks, but no more slot cornerbacks. Like, one of the reasons that they brought in Akella Witherspoon was because that's a guy that he's a bigger corner. It was a major move for them to bring in Akella Witherspoon because he's 6'3". He's a bigger guy. But when you have a guy like, Kenny Moore, that's a 5'9" guy. You have Meek Robertson, he's 5'9", Mike Sammerstone 5'9", 5'10". You're not trying to create an army of slot cornerbacks. That's just not what you're trying to do. So for me, I'm good. I'm not really, and I've thought about this. I made a video about this. I've thought about this. Kenny Moore is an elite slot wide receiver. He's an elite slot wide receiver. Yes, he make the team better in day one, but to me, adding a guy like another smaller corner, no. If you're going to add a corner at this point, it's got to be a bigger guy. In my opinion, it's got to be a bigger guy. So I'm good on all the slot cornerback talk. I really am. I'm good on that. I'm good on Kenny Moore. Also because he's 30 years old. He's 30 years old. So we're not trying to create an army of slot cornerbacks, and we're not, this move doesn't make sense to me also because Adam Peters, what he's done this offseason is he's added guys that are under 30, and Kenny Moore is 30. So I don't think Adam Peters would do that. At the very least, our defense is improved. I agree. I don't think our acquisitions add up to a lateral move. I think we got stronger everywhere. Yeah, I don't see a lateral move either. I don't. I do think our defense has improved mightily. I think our defense has improved in so many ways. I think we've gotten stronger, faster, younger everywhere. So I don't see a lateral move either, to be honest with you. We may not be world beaters on defense, but we are light years ahead of where we were last year. Yeah, I feel so confident. I really do. I feel so confident this year in this defense. Last year was just so awful. Like, there was just games where we wouldn't even force a single punt. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was outlandish. It was disgusting to watch. People literally said that we could be considered the worst defense of all time. People literally said that. So, yeah, to me, we've gotten a lot better. We've gotten a lot faster, stronger, younger. So we've gotten a lot better on defense for me. We don't have to be world beaters on defense, though. If Jaden Daniels is going to be healthy and he's going to be the guy that we saw in 2024, then we don't have to be world beaters on defense at all. Actually, we don't have to be that at all on defense. We don't have to be that at all. So we don't got to be world beaters, man. We just have to be a solid defense and preferably top 15 defense. And I think with the guys that we've added, we can be a top 10 defense, to be honest with you. Make sure y'all click that like button. We have 77 in the chat. Help me to reach over 50 likes in the stream. Make sure y'all click that like button. Click that subscribe button. If you're new to the family, make sure you click that subscribe button on the road to 6K. Also, all comments are appreciated. Super chats are obviously the best thing for this channel. They help this channel directly and keep this channel moving and upright. But let's get to the next comment here. Whether or not our defense is improved enough to contend at the highest level of competition in our conference, that remains to be seen. Yeah, one of the things that we can't do is go out here in these streets and preach that we're going to be a top 5 defense or top 10 defense, because we just have not seen it. We don't know. And Durante Jones is also an unknown. He's a little bit of an unknown. So you can't go in and say that we're going to be, the 85 Bears. But what you can say is that we've tried our best and they've done ultimately everything they possibly can, to be honest with you. They've tried everything they can. They've gotten younger. They've gotten faster. They've gotten stronger. So that does remain to be seen. But we can have our strong opinions and feelings about this defense. And I think we're all feeling good about this defense. I think we're all feeling pretty solid about this defense at this point. I'm super excited. The addition of Sonny Styles in the draft is also awesome. I'm confident that preseason will show me what I need to know. Last year we just kind of ignored preseason. It was 48-18 against the Ravens. It was 31-17 against the Bengals. It was it was 48-18 against the Patriots. It was 31-17 against the Bengals, and then against the Ravens, it was like 31-3 or something like that. So, I am looking at the preseason more like I'm actually analyzing that this year, and I'm taking that serious, right? How did our depth improve? One of the reasons that we talk about the Ravens in the preseason every single year, how are they so good? How'd they hold that 3-0 record in the preseason every single year? Well, it's because their depth. It's because their depth is very solid. They have the best depth in the NFL every year. So it will show us a lot. Not exactly everything that we need to know. Some of that just comes with time and games that need to be played, but it will tell us a lot. So I'm excited about that too. If our offense can be consistent and protect Jaden, not a whole lot to ask for. It may take enough pressure off the defense that they don't have to be world beaters. Yeah, they don't have to be world beaters. I don't think in this league you have to have a world beater on defense to be great. Especially us. Like, I think Jaden Daniels, man. I think Jaden Daniels can be the difference maker in every single game. We saw Jaden Daniels rookie year. Like, the Lions literally put up 31 points and he put up 45. There's so many times in his rookie year that he just bailed us out. Like, the defense was atrocious last year and the year before. And, in 2024, the offense made the defense look a whole lot better. So, I think they can protect Jaden too. Like, we have Laramie Tunsil, we have Josh Connolly going into his second year, first round pick. Like, I do think that they can protect Jaden. So, and I think they will be consistent. So, no, it isn't a lot to ask for. They don't have to be world beaters. They're not going to have to be world beaters. I'll say that. How do you think Blau will manage Jaden's mobility? Personally, I want him to run less. I'd love if he didn't even need to run at all. He's shown he can carve up defenses. I want it to remain a tool. So that's a great question, first of all. One thing that I talk about a lot is I talk about the next evolution of Jaden Daniels' game. What is that? That is when there is a chance for him to throw the ball deep or get out of the pocket and throw the ball deep instead of running after you get out of the pocket. We need him to throw the ball deep. We need him to throw the ball deep. We want him to throw the ball. Get more comfortable rolling out and throwing the ball. Don't take the 7-yard run out of the pocket. Don't take the 7-yard scramble. Throw the football. Try and throw the football more. I think there's got to be things for Jaden that he's gonna have to get and he's gonna have to understand. By the way, evening, Matt. I hope your evening's going great. Hope you had a great day today. Hopefully you and the fam are doing good. But drop your comments, Matt, about anything you might want to say about this football team. That's what today is about. And there we go. Comment number 1. But yeah, so I think Blau is, Jaden's gonna know the fundamental. Like, Jaden's gonna know what he's gonna have to do. You're gonna see him slide a lot more. But he's going to have a healthy balance. I'm not worried about Jaden's balance of knowing when to run and knowing when to throw. Like, he's not going to completely give up his running ability. One of the best things about Jaden is that dual threat ability. He's not going to throw that down the drain. He's not going to do that. So don't worry about that. He knows what he knows what he's doing. But I would like to see him stand in the pocket and throw the ball a little bit more, right? Don't hold the ball to where you're going to get pounded every play, but don't just automatically go out of the pocket and run and take those hits if you don't have to, if that's not necessary. So what I'll say to you is, don't worry if Jaden Daniels is going to have his tools. Don't worry about that. He's going to have the passing and the running. He's still going to have that. They're not going to take that away from him. They understand the assignment, and Jaden understands the assignment. So Blau's gonna unlock Jaden. That's what I think. He has shown he has an arm. He has, for sure, he has shown that. Jaden can definitely become a true a statue passer like Stafford. One sec here. Okay. Jaden can definitely become a statue passer like Stafford or Golf later in his career when his athleticism slows down. Um, that's an interesting take. I don't know if he's going to be like exactly like one of those guys. Because Jaden's just an interesting, like he's different. Right now, he's different. He's came out of college different. He's not going to be like exactly like one of those guys. But I hear the argument for sure. I hear that. And we'll see what Jaden turns into later in his career. But right now, he has the tools, right? He has the running and the passing ability. So it'll be interesting to see him later in his career. But yeah, Stafford's not a guy to, not a bad guy to turn into one day. So I mean, I hear you. The two best ways to protect Jaden is to provide him a relief valve with a good running game and a decent offensive line. I think we have a decent offensive line with a weakness at center. Yeah, again, I'm not too not too elated that you're gonna have Nick Allegretti starting at center, but it is what it is. He's comfortable there, he said. And so we'll give him a shot. But I don't think it's necessarily a big weakness. I think the offensive line as a whole was a strength. But he does have a relief valve. Yeah, he does have Rashad White now, and Bill can even catch it out of the backfield if you need him to. He has a relief valve, and he has a good running game. They've done a lot in this running back room. I'm excited. I think he does have good running backs now. He does have a decent offensive line. Definitely has a decent offensive line. So, I definitely hear you. I feel like he takes that 7-yard run because unfortunately we don't have any, in the words of Louis T, sudden separators. I feel like a Diggs in this offense would give him that. Yeah, and that's why, the wide receivers, like, it's, we probably should add one, right? You want another guy opposite of Terry McLaurin that can do something like that, right? So he's right. We don't really have those sudden separators at this point. So it's going to be interesting. Who do they add? Who do they decide to add? Right? Who's that going to be? I think they should definitely add. I think they definitely need to add someone. I think they definitely should add someone. I don't know who that's going to be. I have no idea. But if you sign to Stephon Diggs, yes, that is what he is. And he could come in and give you 700, 800 yards in day one. So I'd be awesome. I'd be elated if they signed Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs did speak the other day about the Commanders. He didn't say much at all. He really did not say much at all. He was, so a little bit underwhelming. But you saw the Charles Omenihu, Charles Omenihu recruiting, Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs replied with the eye emoji and stuff. So I don't know. It's interesting, but we'll see this summer, because I imagine Stephon Diggs will still probably be here. So the Commanders are going to have their option. Ultimately, they're going to have an option. So we'll see what's cooking. But I imagine they're going to add probably Brandon Ayuk at this point. I hope it's Diggs, but I think it's probably going to be Brandon Ayuk. I feel confident in Jaden because it seems like his running is a complement to his passing, while guys like Lamar and RG3 were great because of their running, while the passing needed development. Yeah, definitely Jaden's rookie year. I saw that ability. That arm was just so strong, right? So I definitely saw that his arm, he definitely has an arm on him. I hear your argument. Like Lamar and RG3 are there's a reason why people call them running backs, and Jalen Hurts too, not necessarily Lamar. RG3 and Jalen Hurts, I can see why people call him that. And I understand what you're saying. I do. That is interesting. But that's why I think Jaden could be great in this league. It's because of that running and throwing ability, right? We just got to work on some of the specifics of the his running game, right? Don't always just tuck it and run, right? Stand in the pocket and make some tough throws sometimes. He can do that, right? So there's a lot of improvement for Jaden, to come, but to make, but ultimately, he's gonna be, he's gonna be set up for success this year. So it's gonna be all upon him. How did you learn? How did you grow during the offseason? So it's gonna be interesting. I'll say that for sure. But I'm excited for Jaden. I really am. There's a lot of talk about people saying, I feel like the biggest like smoke around the team right now is like, did they do enough for Jaden Daniels? People have talked about that. Yes, I think they have done enough for Jaden Daniels. I think that, they can definitely add more. I think they should add more, but they've done a lot for Jaden Daniels. And so now it's just up to him to execute. But whoever was talking about earlier, like the tools that Jaden Daniels has, like, don't worry about him losing his tools. Like, he's good. He's gonna have that threat this year. But he's just gonna be wiser. He's gonna be making smarter decisions, right? So it'll be interesting for sure. I hope that Dan Quinn reclaims some of his aggressiveness on going for it on fourth down. Although I hope with the running back room we don't end up in a ton of force. Kicker can play a factor too. We do have Katron, and for fourth downs we do have Katron Allen, which I'm excited about to get him in the building. But I think Dan Quinn's going to come out of the box a little bit more aggressive at this point in his career. Like, I think he knows he has to be aggressive. He knows he's going to have to make some on the edge calls. To be honest with you, he's going to have to make some of those calls, and he knows that. So he's not worried. He knows that he's going to have to make some of those calls. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to get after it. And see if Dan Quinn does reclaim some of that. Last year felt like a little bit of a he was kind of sitting back a little bit, but he's going to reclaim some of that. I have confidence in that. And again, speaking of Katron Allen, like, they shouldn't be in a whole lot of fourth downs. Like, we have guys that can punch it in and run it in from third and one. But if they are on fourth and downs, that's where Katron Allen comes in, and like, he can get that 1 yard. He was one of the strongest running backs in the class last year. So in last year's draft class. So we're in a good spot even if we're in those fourth and one situations. Dan Quinn needs to become that linebacker whisperer like he was in the Cowboys and Seahawks. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if he's there at this point in his career. I hope he is, but he's not a young guy anymore. Durante Jones, though, I think he could be that one of those guys, right? His defense is going to be crazy with Sonny Styles, man. It's going to be so awesome with Sonny Styles. Cannot wait to see how that looks, by the way. But yeah, that's why Dan Quinn was hired. Smart defensive mind. You didn't hire him to be an offensive mind. So Dan Quinn is a smart defensive mind. Does that come to fruition, this year, right? He unlocked that Cowboys defense. I mean, that made him look like a mastermind, that Cowboys defense. The Seahawks defense as well made him look like a mastermind, right? So he did give Bobby Wagner a great last few years here in DC. So I do have confidence in Dan Quinn. I do have confidence in Dan Quinn to come in here, and he's gonna light a fire under Sonny Styles. So I'm very excited to see what Sonny Styles becomes, because I think Dan Quinn's been around the game. Like, one of those things that you have in an older coach. I know a lot of you don't want an older coach, right? You've talked down about an older coach, but one of the things you do have is experience, right? You have that experience in a guy like that. He's been around the league for a while. He knows how to coach these guys up. So we will see what Sonny Styles does ultimately, but he does need to become that, right? He does need to become that. You drafted him in the first round because you believe you can coach him up, right? You believe you can coach him up and take him to his highest level. So that will be interesting. But let's do some winners and losers from Commanders rookie minicamp. So obviously this will only consist of rookies, but let's start with winners. First of all, Sonny Styles, I talked about him. The athletic freak that he is, the looking like he wanted to lay dudes out that JP Finley had said about him, right? The interviews all were a huge win for Sonny Styles. Antonio Williams, the suddenness of his routes, the quickness of his routes. He was a major win as well. His interview was also a major win as well. So he definitely picked up a win this weekend. I would say Chris Hilton Jr. won this weekend because he stayed late. He got that recognition. So he definitely looked good. I would say the fat man, Katron Allen. I would say Joshua Josephs. Those guys are all wins. Drew Stevens is a win. People really started to think highly of him as well. There wasn't really any losers. I would say Ethan Kaliak Manis, maybe he threw a pick. That's maybe a loss. Carlin Vigors would also be a winner as well. But Ethan Kaliak Manis, maybe a loser, right? Through that pick, didn't look great. JP Finley said. So you can make a case for him to be a loser, but otherwise there wasn't many losers out there. We're not going to call guys that we didn't hear about losers. I didn't hear about Matt Goldman, but that's because he's on the offensive line. So I'm not going to call him a loser. So there was really no losers, which is always what you want. You always want that in minicamp. Let's see. Do you think we bring Debo or Bobby back? No. Let's see what else you have to say. For me, I have no problem bringing back Debo, but Bobby, love and appreciate it, but it's time to ride off in the sunset. He's done enough. Yeah, and at this point in the offseason, they're not going to bring either one of those guys back, but we can have the conversation. No, I don't think they should bring back Debo or Bobby. I think we need a different type of receiver than Debo Samuel, to be honest with you. But if they brought Debo Samuel in at this point, like we still need another wide receiver. If they brought him in at this point, I wouldn't be mad at all. Debo wasn't bad last year at all, and he's honestly in the best shape of his life right now. So he was working out with Frankie Louvu a few weeks ago as well. So I wouldn't be mad at all. If they brought him back, I wouldn't be mad at all. But Bobby Wagner, if he's going to come back in a role where he's going to play barely any snaps, then okay. Or if he's going to come back in a role where he's going to act as a coach, then okay, yeah. But no, if Bobby Wagner's a player, like I just don't see the point. Why waste money on Debo Samuel or Bobby Wagner? Like I don't see them doing that. I don't see them doing either of those guys, signing either of those guys. If Sonny can develop his run stopping ability and get more tackles for loss, then he can become a top 5 linebacker. And those are all things that can be coached up too. Like you can coach that up. So he's a guy like, again, I have no worries about him and his development. Like I'm so excited for him to see what he does this year. He will, I believe he will become a better run stopping linebacker, but he's good in coverage. He's runs sideline to sideline. Like he does it all. He does it all. And he also needs to develop that, become more of an edge rusher. He needs to develop, his game as a pass rusher more, but still, I think he definitely has potential to be a top 5 linebacker. People talk about his potential all the time. He definitely his ceiling is so high. Like he definitely has that potential to be a top 5 linebacker in this league. I definitely think so. I'd love if Bobby was back with the headset, or like Rio Robinson says, Rio ain't wrong, man. Rio ain't wrong. I'd love Bobby to be back in a headset. I think that would be great for Sonny Styles. Mentoring Sonny Styles. I think that'd be great for Sonny Styles. I love to see it, but I don't personally see that happening. To be honest with you, I don't see Bobby wanting to be a coach. I think he still wants to play, and I don't think the Commanders are gonna, bring him back. But I would love it. It's funny how you can go to that. If he's a player, you don't want him here at all, but if he's a coach, you love him here. It'd be so exciting. Like I'd be all in for him as a coach here. That would be, for me, I would love that. I think that'd be so awesome. Make sure you guys smash that like button as well. Let's try and get up to 70 likes in the stream. Make sure you click that subscribe button as well. If you're not a part of the family already, make sure you click that subscribe button on the road to 6K. We're 2 subscribers away from 5,060, so please click that subscribe button as well. Flood the comment section. I want to hear all your thoughts and opinions on what, on how you thought rookie minicamp went for the Washington Commanders. I want to hear all your thoughts on that. Next season, Giants 12-5. Cowboys. Well, I like this. I like record predictions, man. Cowboys 10-7. Eagles 8-9. Commanders 4-13. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid till I see it with the Giants. First of all, you got John Harbaugh. Yeah, you improved the roster a lot. But there's no way they're going 12-5. With Jackson Dart, especially, there's no way they're going 12-5. I watched Jackson Dart come in, and he couldn't even beat Antonio Hamilton, who was the starting cornerback for the Commanders in that game. No. Giants, no way they're going 12-5. Cowboys, I think that's good. Like, I think that's perfect. I could see them at 10-7 for sure. Eagles, I think they'll probably be around that 10-7 or 11-6 area. I don't think 8-9, but I would love to see it if they went 8-9. The Commanders at 4-13 to me is not right. I'm not gonna call it outrageous. We were 5-12 last year, so but I know you're just trying to rage bait. But if I had to change that, I'd go Eagles 10-7. I'd go Cowboys 10-7. I'd go Commanders 10-7. And then I would go Giants 9-8. So I see the division being really close this year. I have 3 teams at 11-7, or sorry, 10-7, and then I have the Giants at 9-8. So if I had to change that, we'll do more of that. We'll do more of that later on in the offseason. But Bobby can't play special teams and won't start there, so there's no point in signing him. Yeah, and you know, he's just not going to be like, it's just not going to be worth it, in my opinion. It's already a stuffed linebacker room. Like we already talked about Sonny Styles joining the linebacker room, let alone another guy in Bobby Wagner. Like it's just a stuffed linebacker room. To me, it makes no sense. By the way, as I'm reading comments, make sure you guys understand that super chats go first. Super chats will be read first. They keep the channel moving. They help the channel out, and they really support these long streams. Appreciate y'all for all the comments already, though. But I agree with you on that. Your record prediction is flipped. Yeah, I think he's probably, I think he's a little bit off on that. Debo is a commander and should always be a commander. He was a commander for 1 year. That's all I'll say. Jackson Dart equals better than Drake May. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think you're rage baiting there, but he was a way more polished quarterback coming into the league. JD5 is an excellent quarterback. They can run his butt off. Are you talking about Jackson Dart? If you're talking about Jackson Dart, Jackson Dart to me, he just didn't show me anything last year that I needed to see from him to have confidence. So I don't know what I don't know what Giants fans in general are talking about, but to me, it just makes zero sense on why Giants fans are talking so much. I mean, Dart, he's fun to watch. He'll create, plays, but he didn't beat the Commanders defense with no one on it last year. Like a franchise quarterback would do it. A franchise quarterback would do that. Don't you think? I mean, I think so. Do you think Blau sticks to his desired plan of getting Terry 10 targets a game? Yes. I'd love Terry and Antonio to be Jaden's discount, Chase and Higgins, CD and Pickens. Chig and eat for sure. I'll say that they're not, first of all, Terry is not a Chase and Terry is not a CD Lamb. So therefore that duo cannot happen. But Antonio Williams, you hope he can be a high level 2 in this league. We'll see. I mean, I hope he can be a high level 2. But I don't see that happening. Chig, I think Chig's going to eat for sure. I think Chig's going to be a big dynamic weapon for Jaden Daniels. I'm excited for him. Dart is fun to watch, but I don't have much faith that he would stay healthy. Yeah, when you get a concussion every 2 weeks, that's probably a problem. So that's probably a problem there. So yeah, while I said this earlier, like a minute ago, he is fun to watch. He does create plays. He does do things that are interesting, but I don't have any faith that he'll stay healthy either. I don't. The concussions are, an every week thing for Jackson Dart. So if you're a Giants fan, I just wouldn't really have a whole lot of confidence there. But we'll see. We'll see. Dart couldn't beat our practice squad last year. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like Antonio Williams was our starting cornerback. Like you couldn't even beat him. We still beat the Giants with Jackson Dart, their starting quarterback in. So to me, I don't see Jackson Dart as this really great, quarterback that's going to be the next big thing. I don't see that. He could be solid and still get the Giants a good winning record, but or a good record, but we'll just have to see. We will just have to see. Have season tickets and live in Florida. Yeah, you said that earlier. Going to be mad though if they take another game in Florida from us to send overseas. Yeah, I addressed that comment earlier, but yeah, I hear you, right? Um, I definitely hear you. It would suck, for them to play back to back games and play the Jags in Jacksonville or play the Jags in London as well. That would suck. I hope they play in Florida. Hence the discount. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so I didn't really actually take that into account when I was reading it. I don't know why, but of course, Terry is not Chase. Yes, you're correct on that. I'm simply saying Jaden have a good bona fide wide receiver 1 and 2. Yeah, and that's what we're hoping. And that's, I definitely, hope they could be the discount version. We'll see. We'll see. Um, we will see what they look like. But yeah, I think they could definitely have the potential to be a discount. Terry's definitely not Chase, as you said. And so Jaden, I think Jaden will have a good wide receiver 1 and 2. I think he will. We'll just have to see. I plan to go to London though. So that's good. So, but I understand what you're saying. Like you'd rather travel an hour or so. I don't know how far you live close, how far you are away from the Jag Stadium, but you'd rather travel an hour, to the Jag Stadium than however long it takes to get to London, right? Even though it'd be a cool experience. But even if you are still going to the game, then you will still get to see the team. Hey man, the rookies are awesome. What's the situation with Brandon Ayuk? I personally think the Commanders should pass. So the current, and maybe I should make a video about this to update people. I don't know. But I feel like I've made so many videos about it. But the current status of the Brandon Ayuk situation is the 49ers are being petty right now. They're waiting to release Brandon Ayuk till sometime this summer, and they're punishing Brandon Ayuk for him and what he did to them this offseason. The Commanders, once he's released, will probably sign Brandon Ayuk to a highly incentivized 1-year deal. But that's not going to come anytime soon. I think the Commanders should pass on Ayuk as well. I think right now you're looking at Stephon Diggs. There's other options as well. I don't think that the Commanders should go after Brandon Ayuk. I don't. I think that should be done. I think that should be done right now. I think we need to focus on other wide receivers or getting somebody else other than Brandon Ayuk. He's just too much of a question mark. And so I don't like it. But that's the current situation there. But I agree with you. The rookies are awesome. Looks like it's going to turn out to be a pretty solid rookie class. It's going to be an exciting rookie class. I cannot wait. After rookie minicamp, it just really got me hype about these Commanders rookies. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting season for the rookies. Definitely fun to get our first look at them throughout this offseason. This weekend. It was definitely fun to get the first look there. We're actually about to go take a look at some of these clips that the team posted. So obviously we got 1 day of media coverage, which was Friday. We didn't get any media coverage Saturday or Sunday, but the team, obviously they're still out there. They can still take videos, obviously. So we're going to see if we can find any clips that may be interesting or catch our eye. So first of all, let's see. And you guys can still comment. I'll get to other comments in a second. Sorry about that. We will add the stage. Okay. Let's go. Put this in this mode. Okay. You guys get a little backstage view there. So let's just take a look at some of the things the team has posted. So this obviously picture Antonio Williams. Don't really care about that much. Here's a video of the fat man running. So doesn't that sound weird? The fat man running. But yeah. So there's a video of Katron Allen running. Definitely solid, right? It's not much to make out of this, but there's a video of him running. Good quality. So again, he's not gonna be the most explosive and fast guy that but he's gonna get a lot of those goal line carries and he's gonna be fun to watch. There's Styles. So here's Sonny Styles. He's gonna go up again. I told you guys his catch radius is crazy. So You know, he's going to be able to make a lot of those, you know, high level snags out of the air, which I'm just super excited about. Like that, just look at him. You guys, if you didn't see any of the clips, which if you've been tuned into my channel, you know, you saw the clips in my Friday video after it had concluded. But if you haven't seen any clips, then, you know, here you go. This is Sonny Styles. This is Commander's first round. Again, not your average 21-year-old, not your average 21-year-old for sure. But let's see what else the team has posted. That's Ethan Kaliak Manis to Antonio Williams. So this is actually a good clip right here. So you're going to watch Antonio Williams throwing to, or Ethan Kaliak Manis throwing to Antonio Williams. You're going to watch that a little bit. Williams, obviously smaller guy, but it's interesting. Right there. Okay. So we've seen that enough. Any word on Stevens' accuracy in rookie camp? Yeah, Stevens looked really good in camp. He was banging out 40 and 45 yarders. The ball was still going through the upright, and the ball was still going ascending into the air as he was kicking it, as it was going into the net at 45 yards. So he definitely got a lot of velocity on his kicks. And he looked really good. He really impressed. Drew Stevens really impressed. So, let's see. Pictures, some pictures. I'm going to set this goal in the chat. Okay. So I'm going to set that goal in the chat. And you guys can click the 0 out of 1 target button and see what that takes you. But that's just basically to support the channel. The 0 out of 1 target button above the comment section. That's the way you're going to directly support the channel. But make sure you guys click the like button as well to support, and subscribe this channel to support as well on the road to 6K. So let's see. Was there any other videos or anything? Nah, no videos. Rookies trying on their helmets. So that's interesting. But otherwise, Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke retired the other day. This was sad for me. This was a guy that I just really I loved. Taylor Heineke. Like, I love Taylor Heineke. He gave me some of the best years as a fan, because he just always created that wild part of a season. Like, he would go on so many runs, chances to make the playoffs. Like, it's just awesome, man. Sonny Style or Taylor Heineke is awesome, dude. But there's basically some of the clips. Take you back here. Okay. See, Katron is going to be better than B-Rob. I don't say that to downgrade him. Early on, B-Rob was a hard-running bowling ball. Obviously, we want him to be nothing like what B-Rob turned into. Yeah, we want him to be a lot better, more successful than B-Rob. And I hope he is. You know, he's physical. He's stronger than B-Rob, I would say, at this point. So, yeah, hopefully he's better than B-Rob. The most explosive rookie, in my opinion, is Scott Styles. Nothing to take away from the rest of the rookies. I think you mean Sonny Styles, but yeah, you know, obviously that is the most explosive rookie at this point. So, Commanders being an 11-win team, I hope so. You know, if Jaden could stay healthy and stay on the field, that's what they're probably going to be, is around that 11-win team. The defense is a lot better. The most impressive clip on Styles is when he almost knocked the guy with the pad. Oh yeah, I know. That was there was so many times where Styles wanted to lay a dude out. Like, he wanted to kill a dude, you know, and tackle a dude. So there was so many times like that. It was crazy. In rookie minicamp. So it just encourages you more about Sonny Styles. I love Taylor Heineke. He was exciting. He had a very memorable playoff appearance. Yeah. I love Taylor Heineke, man. That guy, I was genuinely sad when I saw that the other night. Genuinely sad. Gave me so many good and fun games to watch. It was crazy. I always felt like he could have been good with a better surrounding cast. Yeah, and he was never going to be that guy that was, a franchise quarterback, but he was the guy that would just step in and be solid and have a good attitude always, man. I was talking about Lamar Jackson, daughter Bo Nix Drake. Don't know what you're talking about, man. I'll have to. You might have to clarify, man. Yeah, man. Heineke was a blast to watch. I felt bad seeing he was retiring. He wrote on the bottom of his messages about resigning. Go Skins. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I was, just really when he posted that, I was thinking like, the best memories of Taylor Heineke, like awesome, man. Awesome. Like there was so many games where I just like I left feeling so excited because we had a chance at the playoffs. Like Heineke did so many things. No better than better B Rob, meaning the better version of B Rob. Yeah. Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury is good for entry into the NFL, but he does not have a big boy offense. That's why no one's copying his offense. This changed to a real offense that supports your quarterback and running. And that's what the David Blau offense is going to be. It's going to be a change of pace. It's going to be a more West Coast style offense. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a change for everyone. Sonny seems like in college he would play with some hesitation. He needs to bring the boom. Yeah, I mean, I could see times like that on tape, but he is gonna bring the boom. I mean, he's gonna bring the boom, like um in the season. Like I promise you that. I can already see it. I was hoping you actually had numbers on Stevens, like he was 14 of 15. I heard the reports you mentioned. Um, so okay. So since you say that, let's look. First of all, he's 22 years old. He's 6'1, 205. Last year. Okay, let's go last year. 78.6 field goal percentage. 5 of 5 from 20 and 29 yards. 6 of 7 from 30 and 39 yards. 7 of 10 from 40 and 49 yards. 4 of 6 from 50 plus yards. And his longest was 58 yarder. There you go. Heineke gave me faith that we were going to beat Tom Brady in the playoffs. I was so hyped when he did that goal line drive. Yeah. Again, just so many good feelings. Like, yeah, I agree with you. Like, just to even be that close to beating the Super Bowl champs that year was crazy, man. He would have secured a real contract if he had won that game. Yeah, and a guy that came off his couch and played football. Like, wild stuff. Wild stuff, man. Taylor Heineke was absolutely wild. Okay, so we're getting free agent numbers tomorrow. We know that. So, the team just announced that we're getting free agent numbers tomorrow. So that'll be cool. Heineke will get free drinks for 5 playoff TD runs for years to come. Yeah. I hope that he does. He deserves everything, man. I think they have a lot more confidence in Terry Williams and a mixture of Luke Lane and Burks. And I think they know they're going to get Brandon, so they're happy. Again, Terry's a little bit of a question mark with the injuries last year. Brandon Ayuk's definitely a question mark. Burks is underwhelming, because he was a first round pick. Luke and Lane were fine last year, but Luke got hurt. So I just don't know. It's a lot of question marks, but I don't know if they're exactly satisfied. I don't know. They just announced that the free agent number is coming out tomorrow. Yeah, so I did see that. So why don't I? Yeah, so I did see that they're gonna drop those numbers tomorrow. That's gonna be exciting. I can't wait for that. I'm trying to think. We know some of the free agent numbers. We don't know all, obviously, but we know some of those numbers. Let me see. Okay. All right, we'll put that up on the screen just so people know. Tomorrow, dropping the free agent numbers. Also, Ron pulled him for the remainder of the season for Wentz after one of his better games. Who knows what he could have done otherwise? Yeah, I remember that. And that I was disgusted that game. Like what was that? What was that? Was that 2022? I want to say the end of 2022 against the Browns. He had put Carson Wentz in that game. Boy, I was so pissed that game. Like there was so many sad days back then. Like I was so pissed that game. That was the wow. That was bad. I remember that. Carson Wentz and Fitzpatrick were both equally disgusting. Yeah. Yeah. Fitzpatrick. So sometimes I think about that. And when I think about that, I'm like, what the heck? What the heck was this team doing? What the heck was this team doing? Like, are you serious? Are you bringing in Ryan Fitzpatrick? I just, the more I think about that, the more I realize how dumb that was. That was so dumb. Wait, let me check real quick. I just got a random thought. Is there a playoff basketball on tonight? Because I'm going to watch that after this stream. Yes, sir, baby. There is playoff basketball. All right, bet that. I'll get on that after we are done talking Commanders rookie minicamp. But we can be eliminated. Ron, I mean, you talk about just sending so many bad signs to your fans. Like, so many. Oh, my gosh, dude. I don't even. I remember hearing that. It's like, I care more than you. I care more than you, you know? That's what it felt like. Like, I care more than you, Ron. You know, it's just, it was crazy. It was so crazy. Oh man. How did we do that? How did we do that? Ron, not knowing that we could be eliminated, had me about to actually punch my TV. It was just like it didn't even get me mad. It didn't even get me mad. It just got me to a state where I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm watching a team that I care more about than my head coach. You know? So it's just you know, to think back to those days is crazy, man. I remember that, dude. Wow. Both Wentz and Fitzmagic were huge disappointments. Yeah. Yep. And I was at the game. So Fitzmagic, I was at the game week 1 against the Chargers. That was his debut. He got hurt. He got hurt in like the first 2 quarters. His he was so old he got hurt in the first 2 quarters or something. Never made a return, I don't think. But I don't know if I'd call them disappointments only because I never had remotely high expectations for either. Yeah. Yeah. Now we felt like Wentz could be solid though. I think most of us did. Not to put words in anybody's mouth, but I think we did. Hard to say you're disappointed when you expect a pile of poo and get a pile of, yeah. 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 Here's my question with Bill, Katron Allen, Rashad White. Would that combination make you all happy at running back for a few years? Well, let's start with Bill. Yes, Bill, for sure. He's going to be here for a while. Katron Allen, for sure. He's going to be here for a while. Rashad White, maybe. That's a 1-year deal. I don't know. Jerome Ford, we'll see if he does anything on the roster. But yeah, I mean, I think most of those guys are going to satisfy us for a few years. But we'll see. We'll see. Bro, EB was a bane on this organization. He wasted an ascending Jahan. Man, we've had some rough years. Shout out to Howe and the Jets kicker for securing the future of Washington and Jaden. That Jets game, man, if we would have won that, like I would have absolutely lost it. I would have absolutely lost it. Just so pitiful. Like, you know, sometimes we think we have it bad now, but no, like it's nowhere near as bad as it was, man. I remember that. Oh gosh. If this were a Sunday during the season, we'd be like sitting here. Like I'd still be on stream from a 1:00 game talking about this team. Just like I just remember like crying every Sunday about this team. It's crazy. Among the UDFA and rookie invites, who do you think will rise the highest? I'd say Drew Stevens, and then I'd say the kicker, and then I'd say Chris Hilton Jr. And Robert Henry, I watch him as well, but it's hard to really give it's hard to give real names right now. I don't know. We brought in these guys with the understanding we were going to strike out on Love, so it's run by a committee this year. Carter, do you think either Bill or Rashad White are true number one backs? I think Bill has the potential to be, but it's very unlikely. And Rashad was a true number one back with the Bucks for a little while, but not at this point in his career is Rashad White a true number one back. So I think Rashad's already been there, done that, and Bill has the potential to be there and do that. But it's highly unlikely. Answer to the UDFA rookie invites, the kicker. Yeah. Yep. Here's my question with Bill, Katron Allen, Rashad White. Okay, you already asked that. Never mind. Was there anything mentioned about Malik Spencer? Did he make any sort of impression? No, I didn't see anything from him. I know that a lot of people were talking about him, and they were, intrigued by him, but I didn't know. I didn't hear anything personally. I definitely, I definitely follow everything about this team, so I would have heard something. I would have seen something. So, free agent numbers will be out tomorrow per Commander's X page. I saw that. It's actually up on the screen right now. I saw that, but thank you for that PSA. So that rookie numbers will be out, or free agent numbers will be out tomorrow. I'm excited to see those. We know Amik Robertson already has 2. We know Tim Settle has, I think, 98. Was it? So we already know most of the numbers, but it will still be exciting to get the full list of players. I'm excited for that. When I said JD5 was more refined, I meant than Lamar Jackson, than Josh Allen, than Drake May. I don't know about Josh Allen, and I don't know about Drake May, but I think because Josh Allen can throw too and run too. Lamar Jackson, okay, I see that, but Drake May, he's a better runner than Drake May. For sure, but I don't know if he's a better, thrower. I don't know. We'll have to, continue to watch the progression of Jaden Daniels and these other guys. I'm excited. You guys are so high on this new kicker. I think Moody will win that competition. So as I've said a little bit, the thing with Moody is he's really accurate, but he doesn't have a big leg. The thing with Drew Stevens is he has a massive leg. If he can be accurate and have a massive leg, that is just going to be so beneficial to him. He's probably going to win the job at that point. So it's going to be awesome. Full Command brings up a good point. He says, I know Dan Quinn has continued to say that the door is still open for Bobby Wagner, but if Leo Chenal gets that 54 tomorrow, since they're dropping the numbers, I'm of the opinion that cements he is off the team. So I would agree with that. If we see Leo Chenal in the 54 tomorrow, Bobby Wagner, there's no, he's not returning. Big Tim is number 97. 97. Yeah, 97. Thank you for that. I had forgot which one he normally was. Yeah, he's 97. And then Amik Robertson is number 2. Tim's 97. Odafe Owe is 98. Oh, Diami's going to be in a nasty number. I forgot about that. I thought Owe was 98. He is. I'm sorry. I effed that up. Sorry. I wonder if kickers get highlight reels. I'd be interested in seeing this kid's highlights. Yeah. I'll search that. I'll look that up. If I do find anything intriguing, I'll post that as a YouTube short. I'll post that if I do find anything intriguing. But I don't know. The thing I'm most excited for this season is for people that are so caught up in the recency bias that Jaden Daniels is so like that. The talk of him being injury prone is stupid. Yeah, the recency bias is going to say Drake May and Caleb Williams are better, but people forget about 2024 Jaden Daniels. That's a guy that we were ready to crown at the end of last year. So I'm excited for that as well, man. It's going to be awesome to see how Jaden comes out this year. Right, comes out of the gates. How does he look? Dude, that would be cool. I'll look for highlight reel too. Yeah, I'll look for the highlight reels. I'm going to look for that. That actually is going to be interesting. I'll look for that. Steven's long is 58. Moody is 56. Seriously, the difference between average and massive is 2 yards. Drew Stevens is 22, bro. Or, yeah, 22, I believe. So, Give him time, man. Like, he has a high ceiling. I'm so happy my cousin Makai. Let's go. I thought you were talking about Makai Lemon for a second. But yeah, so we'll see what what the numbers look like tomorrow. Um, if I had to give like a prediction for some of these, I'll give you that prediction. So let's go Amik Robertson, number 2. Let's go Odafe Owe, number 98. Nick Cross has already confirmed that he's wearing 25. Diami is going to be in the 6. Yes, I have Diami in the 6. Tim Settle's in the 97. Leo Chenal's in the 54. Charles Omenihu's in the 96. I have Van Jefferson in the 12. I have Jerome Ford in the 30, and I have Chig Okonkwo in the 86. To say that fast one more time, Amik Robertson 2, Owe 98, Nick Cross 25, Diami 6, Settle 97, Leo Chenal 54, Omenihu 96, Jefferson 12, Ford 30, Chig 86. Those are my number predictions. So we'll see. Comeback player of the year, MVP, Super Bowl MVP. Let's go, man. Let's go. I'm hyped. I hope so. What do we hear about Stevenson hitting a 70+ yarder with room to spare? I didn't hear 70+ yarder with room to spare. I saw him kick a 72 yarder though on his Instagram story. That's off though now. But yeah, that's what I saw. I'm talking about him. Let's see. How many primetime games do you think they give us this year? I think 4. I'm gonna go 4. Gosh, we've been on this stream for almost 2 hours. I think they give us 4 primetime games. I'm gonna go 4 for us. So I do think the NFL still wants to market Jaden Daniels and use Jaden Daniels, but I think they're obviously gonna cut down a little bit because they saw what happened last year. So I'm gonna go 4 for us. That's what I'll go with right now. I have a feeling Moody's burner account is in your stream. Oh man, he's not gonna be pleased then, is he? We have 72 in the chat. Make sure y'all smash that like button for me. Make sure y'all smash that subscribe button as well on the road to 6K. Smash that subscribe button. 2 subscribers away from 5.06K subscribers. So yeah, again, super chats are the best way to support me. Super chats are the best way to help me out. They keep the channel healthy and moving. So as we wrap up the stream, any super chats are greatly appreciated to start the week. Yeah, 4 to 5 games. I would go 4 to 5 primetime games. I think around 4 primetime games too. Hopefully Cross wipes St. Jude's stank off that 2025. The Canadian boom enthusiast was the first I truly hated. Yeah, I remember the talk of Ben St. Just every single week. Like, it was just so like pitiful to watch him. Every single week get burnt like toast. But yeah, we are, getting into the portion of the offseason where we're trying to figure out numbers, and so it'll be interesting to see what Nick Cross can do in that 25. I don't think there's any, anything left of St. Juice on that number, but we'll see. We'll see for sure. I can't wait to find out the full list of numbers tomorrow, even though I think we have a pretty solid idea of what those numbers are going to look like. We got the rookie numbers last week, and we kind of had a good idea of what those were, and that turned out to be true as well. So I have a pretty good idea of what the numbers are going to look like. Chris Nicole cross jumped. Yeah. Okay. So Commanders will release rookie numbers tomorrow. You will have the schedule release on Thursday. We'll be live right here on this channel Thursday night, starting at 7 o'clock. The numbers release at 8 o'clock. So that's going to be fun. The schedule release is at 8 o'clock. We'll be live starting at 7 o'clock on Thursday nights. That's going to be a long night, marathon stream night. You know what it is. So I'm excited for that. We just did 2 hours of streaming. We're about to hit the 2-hour mark of streaming in 30 seconds on this stream. And we just completed rookie minicamp. The Washington Commanders have completed rookie minicamp. So it's an exciting time here in Washington. I'm just very, very excited to see what we have this year in this team. But starts tomorrow with the numbers, and then we'll get the schedule. I'll figure out what game I'm going to. I normally go to 2 or 3 games a year, so I'll figure out what games I'm going to this Thursday. We'll figure that out, and we'll be on the road to the 2026 NFL season, so it's going to be awesome. Wait, when did they announce the schedule release date? So the schedule release will be this Thursday, the 14th, May 14th. It'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So check out for that. 8 o'clock at night, by the way. So yeah, they're going to do that May 14th, this Thursday. Again, I'll be live for that. It's going to be exciting. Donna Hopkins interviewed a rookie cornerback on her show. Sounded pretty good. I'll go check that out. I'll make sure to check that out after. Always love seeing the work throughout the community. So I will check that out. Don't recall the name. That's okay. I'll probably be able to find it. But because they do good work, I keep up with those sites and with those beat reporters as well. So they do good work. But we are at 2 hours and a minute of streaming. So I am going to wrap this one up for you guys. Rookie minicamp in the books, all 3 days out of the way. Again, rookie minicamp is finally complete. Commanders will get on with OTAs soon. Again, the free agent numbers will drop tomorrow. So we're slowly making our way through this offseason, but we're about to get in that dry spell of the offseason. Don't let it affect you too much, though. But hopefully you guys had a great Mother's Day. I know there's not a lot of mothers in the chat, but I will see you guys next time. We'll be back tomorrow to start the week, as always. So that is going to do it for me. Make sure you guys smash that like button on the way out. Smash that subscribe button on the way out. On the road to 6K, please do those 2 simple things. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on the way out. Would be greatly appreciated. I will see you guys next time. You guys have a great one. Hail to the Washington Commanders as always. I hope this stream kind of helped you start your week, not dread Monday as much. And we'll get those numbers tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. Again, we'll be back with content tomorrow. So for right now, that'll do it for me. You guys, again, have a great rest of your night. Good night.